So a few years ago, around the time I was still 14 to 15 years old, there used to be one thing that I used to be completely afraid of. One simple task that sounds pretty straightforward, yet when it came down to actually doing it, bro, my legs would start shivering, my mind would come up with all of these negative thoughts. I used to be sick of it, right? I hated that. And as you can assume by the thumbnail, yeah, I was speaking to girls. I used to be very very insecure of myself when I entered high school. I was just stuck in my own shell. I was a shell of my own self, you know? When I was around people who I felt like I can trust, people who I felt comfortable around, I was my authentic self, right? I didn't even care. But when I was around people who I didn't have this sense of comfort around, you know, strangers, people who I don't know, I used to be very restricted. And I wasn't able to access this confidence that I usually have, right? And I remember the amount of times where I had to just coexist, like interact with the opposite gender, and my body would just not want to work with me, right? It was completely contrary to what I wanted to do. I remember my legs, as I said, they would literally start shivering. I would like speed up my breath, mumble over every word. And overall, this would happen every single time. And I remember the one thought I used to always carry in the back of my mind is the thought that carried the most space in my brain was, what are others gonna say? How are others going to react? You know, I was always this people pleaser. That was like my mechanic, my way of being, right? The way I would get validation from others was just by doing very stupid shit, just so that others can find me funny. But you know how it is. Most of the time, they would start laughing at me instead of laughing with me, right? Fairly self-explanatory looking at how I used to behave, but that doesn't matter, right? I used to always worry what others are going to say. I didn't struggle doing all this weird stuff just to make people laugh. But when I wanted to do something that I knew would cause me embarrassment, downright embarrassment, not just for shits and giggles, then yeah, that's when I used to have these insecurities. But the one thing that little me completely failed to realize, this one trait that I want you to develop in this video, just keep in mind the fact that people genuinely don't give a fuck about what you do. Trust me on that. And I'm gonna give you an example, because when you are just existing, imagine that you are in my shoes, right? Let's say you are just like I am, in your room, on your own, nobody there, it's just you and your thoughts. What are these thoughts usually gonna be about? What would you say? It's usually going to be the things that you're going to do. It's going to the plans that you have for the future. Perhaps it'll be the thing that you will be doing with others, but you can start to see the pattern here. When we're by ourselves, most of the time, we are thinking about ourselves. Well, we're self-serving creatures, right? We're very pleasure chasing. That's just the way we behave as humans. But one thing that a lot of us fail to realize is that we all think individually of ourselves, you know? This one, like, how do I call this? People often refer to themselves as main characters, this fucking phenomenon, I guess, where people really just believe that they're the center of the world, right? Keep in mind, everybody thinks they're the center of the world. Everybody thinks that they're the main character of their story. But the issue with people pleasers and people who care about what others have to say, you know, they're not being their true authentic selves. They're just doing the shit that others want them to do so they can fit in. This is my favorite part, so that they can, you know, fit in with those people who they want to be around so much, even though they're completely contrary to what they want to do. You know the drill. You know the drill, my friend. These kinds of people, they're trying to be the side plot, you know, the side plot of the main story of somebody else's life, instead of trying to be the main character of their own story. Think about that. How many times did you have to change the way you behave just to please others? And how much did that affect the way you are? Because at least for me, it definitely did. Very significantly, right? Very, very significantly, to a point in which I've just developed this mindset, this limiting belief that I can't do some of the things that I want to do because I'll get judged. So Like, nowadays, I've grown to the conclusion that people are gonna judge you regardless of what you do. So there's pretty much no point in resisting. But back then, I didn't understand it. You know, I used to be so afraid of like not being accepted by the people around me. And honestly, if you're watching videos like these and you genuinely want to have this improvement mindset, you're not going to fit in comparing yourself to the people around you. Because what are the people doing nowadays? What? Come on, we're way better than that, right? It's like, you gotta think more logically. Honestly, do you really want to fit in with these kinds of people? Trust me, my friend, of course you don't. That's why you should stop caring about what others think and actually do what you want to do, right? And once you start to carry this mindset of, I don't give a fuck, suddenly then you start to realize that it's very simple. So I can hear my parents talking in the background. I really hope the mic's not capturing that. But yeah, back to the topic, because how does this relate to speaking to girls? That's probably what you're thinking about. How does it relate to speaking to girls in particular? Because now that you carry this mindset of, I don't give a fuck, cold approaching girls is going to become significantly easier, because this spike of emotion that you're going to get suddenly it's not going to have as big of a meaning to you, you know? A couple of days ago, I don't know if I can share this story because some people from our school are probably going to know who I'm talking about, but man, fuck it. Honestly, nothing bad to talk about. I remember I asked a girl out from I asked a girl from our school if she wants to dance with me on the prom, and she said no, right? I remember I had those like awkward 30 seconds of like, oh my God, bro, nah. And then I realized that my math test results came in and I was like, let's fucking go. And I completely forgot about it, right? I completely forgot about that shit. I moved on like 30 seconds. It's insane, right? But once you start to carry this mindset that you genuinely don't care about what happens, all of these restrictions you have in your mind, they let loose. You start to release them, right? It's like all of this chains, this, how do I say this? All of this grip that your negative thoughts had on you has suddenly let go. Of course, this comes with practice, right? You won't be immediately able to just say, oh yeah, I don't give a fuck. Once you start to apply this more and more and more and more, you will start to see so much progress, right? Because at the end of the day, what's really going to happen if you're going to take the attempt? Fuck it. If you're going to walk up to a girl and ask her out, well, how does that change anything? If she says yes, you got what you wanted. If she says no, there's nothing to lose. There's pretty much nothing to lose, right? Besides a little bit of your own dignity, but then not even because you're gonna recover from it in like literally a few seconds if you take care of this mindset. Once you actually start to applying it, that doesn't change how your life's going to enroll long term at all. Oh, this girl rejected me. Oh my gosh, I would call the pro. Talk to another one. Like 50% of our goddamn population is females, bro. Don't act like you're this goddamn outcast. Half of humans are males and the other half are females. It's like you will find somebody. Of course you will. As long as you'll actually reach out. Trust me, just stop giving a fuck about what others have to say. If for the rest of your life, all you're gonna do will be correlated to how you want people to view you, you're gonna live a miserable life. And you're hearing life advice from a stupid 17-year-old kid online. Just like, stop giving a fuck about what others have to say. You think I would have ever started this YouTube channel if I cared about what others have to think? You think I would have ever started lifting weights, doing all of this stuff? I really don't want to go like mainstream level 1 self-improvement type of videos. I really don't want to enroll into that. But at the end of the day, I really feel like most of the problems people still have comes down to the basics. It's just that most of us have way too big of an ego to actually go back to those day 1 self-improvement videos, because we like to think that, oh yeah, I watched all of these videos, you know, I am an expert at self-improvement. Why would I ever go back to the basics, the day 1 stuff? When you go to any martial arts gym and you do any form of exercise, every single workout will have at least a certain period of time where you will be practicing the fundamentals. Once you start going back to the basics more often, it's just like punches. Once you perfect your technique, bro, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be chilling. You're gonna be way better than the guy with like shitty swings who's trying to act like Mike Tyson. Yeah, I hope this analogy really explained it to you. fairly well. I'm really not trying to waste your time. I'm trying to give you your value. It's hard to keep up daily uploads, you know? But if you have any problems you would want me to make a video about, I would really appreciate it. Please drop a comment about that. And yeah, if you want to talk to me directly whilst hanging around the absolute best community we have on the entire internet, please join the Discord server. Trust me on that. Not only will you get multiple opportunities to talk to me, whether if that's through our weekly calls, DMs, text channels, you will also have a chance to talk to my community, which whenever I'm not online, they will genuinely take care of you 24/7. Undescribable experience. You should totally give us a shot. And yeah, I'm going to put up all of their videos. I'm going to put up the subscriber button. Click all that stuff if you want to. That would genuinely mean a lot. Oh, my cat's not in the room. And screw it. All right. Take care, brother. Keep working.